Boxing Tickets NI. We're here at the official press conference for Nations Fight Night. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Main Event, Colm Murphy. I was speaking to you on the way up the stairs there, and I was obviously asking you, have you ever fought in the Ulster Hall before? And I guess the first thing that springs to mind is obviously your fight with JP Hale. By the time Fight Night comes around, it'll be 5 years from then. So to think of fighting here as an amateur, you know, you're headlining as a pro, like, couldn't get any better.
I can't get any better, but it's also just kind of hard to believe that was 5 years ago. Feels like it was yesterday. It was just right before COVID hit, so, you know, just what good memories to have, and then to be back out here after all that happened, it's a blessing really, and big thanks to Mark for getting the opportunity to me, and it's going to be a great card. There's a lot of tasty fights, some up and coming prospects on it, so really good to be on it, and I just can't wait, and I'm ready to go.
Is it weird for you in a way, obviously, where you look at these cards and obviously you're headlining them and seeing the other fighters in the card, like Tommy McCarthy's in the undercard, who's the European champion? Like, is it weird for you in a way where you're helping these next, you know, the other fighters coming through the same way it's happened to you fighting on other people's cards? You're now helping the next stage of fighters coming through. You're like an old man sort of in the sport here in some ways.
Oh no, definitely not an old man. Look at me, still looking about 19. But yeah, no, it's just crazy to think that there's such big names like Tommy on the card too, and it'll really help out with getting tickets and people down for the show. So can't really wait to see how it all unfolds, and just really grateful to be here.
And like BBC Sport Northern Ireland, obviously I believe it's going to be streamed on BBC Two. Northern Ireland's going to be on the iPlayer. It's going to be available on Sky. Like, it's probably going to be the biggest audience. It's going to be tuning in for the Murph, and what an occasion to help you progress to the next stage.
Yeah, it's really good and it's really helpful. I have a lot of mates out in like Australia, America and all. They were all getting out of Belfast, and so that they'll all get the chance to tune in too. And then obviously everyone who's here is coming out to support me. Everyone who's supported me in the Europa and the SSE and other shows there, they're all really buzzing to have the opportunity to see me main eventing, and thanks to them I really wouldn't have had the opportunity to be here. So once again, thanks to everyone who's really given me their arms and legs to get me here.
And like, this is your 14th pro fight. You're already Celtic, Irish, Commonwealth silver champion. Like, I know you sort of said you've already surpassed, obviously, you know, what you believed it probably maybe done as a pro. Like, where do you now start to set your new goals? Sort of like you're ticking off the Ulster Hall. You know, do you now start to dream that potentially someday you could be headlining the SSE?
Well, I just take it, you know, one step at a time. So obviously last year, or still this year I suppose, but I've had a really big year, and I've really did push myself. I've been training all year. I've never really been out of camp with Dan, so I want to have a better year this year, and I've already said that, and I've got a big opportunity here now to make that happen early. So you best believe I'm already on the ball, getting things in motion for that, and yeah, I really do feel now like I'm ready for this.
It's a sort of perfect occasion for you. Obviously, we know you love your trance music and everything else like that. Everybody's going to be tuned in, and if people haven't followed your career previously, they now, just when they hear the trance music, they know exactly who you're all about.
Oh, you're thinking too far ahead. I may, for the main event, have to pick something else a wee bit more of a crowd pleaser. But you know, we'll see. We've still got time on that front.
Well, is it probably annoying for you in some ways? Maybe you don't have an opponent obviously confirmed. Is it? Maybe you do know and it hasn't just been announced. But like, would you like to know who the opponent is, or does it not really matter who it is?
No, I just focus on myself, my own strengths, and I'm taking it one step at a time, and I'm trusting the process. So whoever it is put in front of me, I'll be ready to go. You can guarantee I'll have a game plan. I'll be watching them. I'll be ready.
And this development, obviously, with Dan, obviously, is fairly kicking in. Like, I think of obviously as, you know, his time with James Tennyson, and James Tennyson, I call him the belt collector. You're probably getting to that stage as well where you're starting to add up the belts as well. You could become the new version of James and collecting all the belts on your way towards glory.
Yeah, well, to fight for any of those big belts that James fought for would be a real dream come true, and I do feel like I'm on the cusp of it this year. Like, definitely towards maybe the end of the year, we could be fighting for one of them. So I'm going to be ready, and I'm ready to change my life around with each fight that comes around here. So let's get it.
Would it like to be an ideal sort of scenario for you in 2025, maybe towards pushing to a British title? Obviously, I know you're very heavily ranked on box rec and things like that. Like, is that maybe the next step, or I guess that's probably more for Mark to decide if that's the path he'll go down?
Yeah, more for Mark to decide, but if the opportunity comes and it gets offered to me, I'm accepting. I'm not saying it could have been this. You know, I'm ready to take the risk, no problem.
And obviously dealing with Christmas, obviously, I guess as a fighter nowadays, you have to make these sacrifices. Obviously, you know, not so much chocolate probably over Christmas, probably sticking to your meal plans probably rather than turkey and ham, but just all in the day's work for you.
I've sacrificed a lot this year, so missing Christmas is not a problem to me. I will happily sacrifice that because I know it's going to pay off.
And tell me obviously about fighting here in the Ulster Hall. Obviously, you know, where you and JB obviously having the war here, and everybody still remembered, even on more so now. What's it like obviously fighting out in that famous arena?
Yeah, it's going to be crazy to be fighting as a professional here too. Obviously fighting there as an amateur at such a young age, main eventing us two. Like, I'm sure even JP is like, wow, how did that happen? Like, it's such a tick for us going forward. Like, we'll always remember that. And he's also doing very well with his boxing too. So just goes to show you, if you keep your head down and you keep showing resilience, like, what can come up for you. So that's what I'm sure both of us are doing actually still now.
And finally, obviously, what can people expect? Obviously, in the 1st of February, obviously, we've seen you obviously in the SSE just demolishing an opponent, obviously just beating them down over rounds and eventually getting them to obviously to pack it in. Like, what can people expect from Colm Murphy on the 1st of February?
You always get your money's worth. As I've seen in my last fight, I can show you that I can also box a bit and come out unscratched and not get a mark on me. But you know, this is going to be a main event, and so it's going to be a crowd pleaser one. This one.
Definitely. Well, look, enjoy the press conference today, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you in fight week come the 1st of February.
Yeah, thank you very much, Stevie.
Cheers, Colm. Thank you.